this episode of The Rebel Rebel, we meet Richard Blank, CEO, pinball collector, and unapologetic human connection junkie. From Costa Rica, he shares how empathy fuels business, why vintage matters, and how rebels stay grounded while flying high. You won't see this one coming. This episode of The Rebel Rebel is brought to you by my book, Brand Jitsu. All right, forget brand theory. This is branding that punches above its weight. After 25 years helping artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses stand out, I wrote Brand Jitsu. Move your brand from meh to memorable. It's the real stuff, story, strategy, and sharp positioning that makes people pay attention. Find it at your favorite bookstore or online at brandjitsu.com. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and somewhere across the world from me, we're going to find out where. Please welcome to the show, Richard Blank. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Michael, what's happening? Great to be with you.
Thank you. Likewise. I've been looking forward to this. Hey, Richard, where in the world are you right now?
I'm in paradise, Central America, the beautiful country of Costa Rica.
Oh, yes. I have never been, but it's on my list.
Best surfing in the world. Ecotourism. Great people. Their expression is pura vida, pure life. So it's something to lose yourself and find yourself. When you leave here after spending time, you definitely become a better person.
Oh, man. All right. Okay, it's back on the list. So there's so much of the world to see. So Costa Rica, hey, okay, I can't wait to find out how you ended up there. But before we do, why don't you catch us up on what you're up to right now?
Of course, Michael. Today, I am the proud CEO of Costa Rica's Call Center. We're in our 19th year of business. We're a dedicated nearshore bilingual operation that deals with sales and appointment setting, lead generation, customer support, back office support, non-voice support. And we compete against AI. I think that you can never replace the empathy of a live agent speaking with your very special client.
I love it. Well, I was going to ask about the whole AI thing. Like
we'll definitely talk about it.
I mean, yeah, we get so inundated by these robocallers and they're getting pretty good actually. But it's just not the same as a human.
It's the uncanny valley. They still don't have the human touch and timing.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, on the flip side, if you have a really good IVR or a way to capture and gather information where you're not frustrated, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let them take it to the 10-yard line, and then we'll bring the ball into the end zone. But
there you go.
I still find myself, Michael, pressing 0 because it's latent. I want to speak with someone, and it just seems like I don't think they have all the information that they need.
Yeah, it's true. I find the same thing with actually like chatbots. I get only so far with a chatbot trying to get help because I realize that, I've got to take some time off of people to help the people that really need it. And sometimes, the FAQs are enough, but oftentimes they're not. Like I always want to talk to an agent. I always want a human. Huh.
My man, how important is your business? And if I take very good care of you, Michael, you're probably going to tell 10 of your friends about me.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, okay, so so I want to learn more about this call center thing. But before we go there, did you always want to be the CEO of a call center in Costa Rica? Like what's the Richard Blank story? What's the origin story?
I was at a crossroads and I sold my soul. No, I'm kidding.
And you play guitar okay.
Right. And so who knows? There's no blueprint to be a CEO of a call center. People can swap stores and give advice. But listen, when I was in high school, that's the last thing I thought of.
Yeah.
In fact, Hollywood jokes about it with certain call centers and boiler rooms, and they make us look really bad. Not all of us sling stock or real estate. Yeah. There's some beautiful people out there that can retain a client. They can do upsells. They can get referrals. In the worst case scenario, they can get you an excellent exit interview so you and I can figure out what we need to do to iron out the wrinkles. And so, but no, it was built on momentum, Michael. Okay. I was the only one out of my friends who was a Spanish major at college. And then post-grad, I had an opportunity in August of 2000 just to come down here for a couple months and work at a friend center, take a time out, teach some English. Yeah. And when I walked into that call center environment, I saw bilingual, talented individuals that were conversing, converting, and handling conversations. And you kind of know when you're at the right place at the right time. I knew it was something I could learn, but it didn't have any weight. It didn't feel heavy. I just needed to learn the chords. And I did.
Nice.
And I took it to the next level. You and I are a certain generation. I collect pinball machines and I like to hang out with everybody. So recess was the best class. I figured through play, you can increase the bonding, rapport, and reduce the attrition.
Love it. Okay, so let's go further back in time. I want to go back to, a very young Richard Blank. And what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be Tarzan.
Hell yeah. Diving into the river with the knife in your mouth.
And then when I got older, I wanted to be Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica 1978.
Fair. Totally fair.
And then when I got older, I wanted to be the face man from A-Team, same character. And then when I was in college, I wanted to be Pierce Brosnan from Remington Steele. So what do you want me to say?
Yeah. All of those. All of the above.
All of those. But I knew this. When my parents were very generous and they loved to travel.
Yeah.
And so we would take trips to Mexico and to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico City. And besides enjoying myself, I would come back with some vocabulary and a little bit of grammar. And anytime I met a Latino, I would throw out what I knew.
Nice.
And I got such positive reinforcement and also a couple additional words along the way. And so it's as a young kid, you're not getting in trouble or getting attention in a bad way. It was something that, even though it was outside the circle of my family that just didn't understand it, still it's my thing. And so if I wanted to put in the extra time on the side, I could build something. And so I knew how to, once again, latch on to what made me feel good and things where strangers became friends after a couple minutes. And so I knew I had a gift at a young age.
That's very, very cool. What's your favorite place to travel to?
I guess it just depends on the mood, but for me, I kind of like winter wonderland sort of feels.
Okay.
I mean, I ran away from it from Philadelphia to come to Costa Rica so I could live in paradise. But anytime that I've been able to see snow or be in that cabin with the cozy fire going, hot chocolate, of course, skiing if you want, or ice skating. Besides missing it, I see it as so serene and beautiful. Everything's white and snowy.
Quiet.
It's just, and it's just, I guess it's just very surreal for me just to see an environment painted like a picture. Right. So I kind of enjoy that more than just a big city or some sort of view. Winter for me is something that I think is very special.
What do we need to know about call centers? What's like the one thing you want us to know about them?
It's a luxury trade, Michael.
Okay.
People have been studying rhetoric forever and the art of persuasion and certain timings and delivery, making your point. And we are fortunate to have this medium where someone can speak to hundreds of people a day when it would have seemed impossible hundreds of years ago. And so people see the art of speech. They see certain tell signs, phonetically, of course. And you start seeing patterns. And you also learn a little bit more social grace, introduction, and listening skills. And so these are some of the best communicators that you can meet that see this as the art of speech and want to give somebody a very positive experience when they speaking to a center, because anybody can carpet bomb lists and just go through them. But if you believe that you could save a client, get a client, upsell, or just regardless, just have a nice connection with somebody for 3 minutes in this crazy world. I'll give you an example, Michael.
Please do.
There's nothing better at a call center than a positive escalation. It's when I say, Michael, you've done such a nice job. Please, may I speak with your supervisor? Because I'd like to verbally let them know you were great. And I might even do it in writing, and that always gets to the top.
Yeah.
We always believe that gatekeepers, associates, individuals that assisted us along the way to get you on the phone, they should be mentioned. And if you do those sort of soft skills, if you extend that to people, don't be surprised if you can last a little bit longer on a phone call. People would be more than willing to volunteer information for you because you're just not trying to slick my way into a phone call with you, Michael. And so it's delicate, but it's a dance. And as I say, is it manipulation? You're damn right it is. If you practice it 1,000 times, you can do it with your eyes closed. But it's just like fire. You shouldn't use it to burn. It should be for light and for warmth. And somebody that has such a sharp tongue should really use it to encourage and to give confidence or to clarify. And if they want to, they can hurt you like Eminem and 8 Mile. But I tell you what, these young men and women that hit these phones, they are incredibly skilled after ramping up an onboarding period. And so it's very impressive when you see some of the top aces on there on the phone.
Wow. That's just why. And how nice is it to be in Costa Rica to get to be able to do this?
Yeah, Michael, you got to get past your parents' guilt. That's number one. And you got to see if the stars are aligned for you. Uh-huh. You sometimes get the chills when you know something's right. Yeah. And so when I stepped off the plane, I loved it so much. Actually found the girl of my dreams. We've been married together for 25 years and started the business together. And so it's whirlwind. I'm swept up in it. It's still a honeymoon stage for me after all this time. And so if I can live life jumping clouds like this, why would I ever want to come down?
Exactly. Tell me about life in Costa Rica. For those of us who haven't been, what does an evening out look like?
Well, just real quick, we're north of Panama, south of Nicaragua, a democratic society, no standing army, national police force, but they put their money into education. So there's a 95% literacy rate, great infrastructure, neutral English accents, eco and medical tourism. So what is an average night here in Costa Rica? Depends where you live. I'm more towards the city and the valley compared to the mountains and the beaches, but all three, there's so much to do in the city with the restaurants and the activities. If you're in the mountains, it's the freshest of air I've ever smelled my entire life. And it's a different environment, but I tell you what, if you enjoy hiking and seeing the most beautiful, lush rainforest, it's there. And then you have the beaches. And my only suggestion is to be very careful. The undertow and the currents are pretty strong.
Oh, okay.
But if you're responsible and you're cool about it and choose the right inlets or certain beaches, you can enjoy it. But man, I tell you, it's like being in a painting. I mean, just the flowers and the views and the animals. It's breathtaking, really.
It sounds special. Do you get like the 3 p.m. rain for like 30 minutes and then it's gone? Do you get that?
You do. And when the top is down on my convertible, you know what I do? I'll just say, hey, Mikey, listen, don't worry about it. Let the rain keep it nice. We'll drive home. Oh, my God. No big deal. And so, it's warm rain.
Oh, that sounds amazing. What's one of your favorite things to do with somebody else?
Listen. I know what I know. I'd love to know what you know.
Oh, I love
That's my favorite thing to do with people.
Wow, that's...
And the second favorite thing is play pinball.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's talk about your pinball collection. What's your favorite one?
If I said that, it's like the redheaded stepchild. You can't say that about the games. They'll get sensitive.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say this, my friend. My favorite decade is the 1970s.
Okay.
I love those electromechanical machines more than anything. The artwork, the marquees, the cabinets.
Yeah.
It's easy to fix. There's just something so special about the sound and the sights. And then the 80s and 90s are fun. But my favorite machine. I guess it would have to be probably the 1971 Bally's Expressway.
Oh, my God.
It's a one-player machine.
Okay.
But it's just such a happy, fun game to play compared to, let's say, the 1986 Williams Pinbot, which everybody knows. That's like a light show.
Right.
And then you got this Bally's NBA Fast Break, which is such a fun game. And a Data East Last Action Hero, which has one of the best multi-balls out there. That's a fun one. And then I got this Bally's 89 Mousing Around.
Uh-huh.
And that's a clean game. That's a real fun game to play with really nice ramps. And then you have, what else do we got out there? You have Street Fighter 2 and Doctor Who and Space Shuttle. But my row of 70s, I got a 1970 Camelot Valleys, then the 71 Expressway, a 76 Freedom Machine Valleys, and a Williams 77 Hot Tip. And it's just, they take up an enormous amount of room.
Well, yeah.
But I tell you a secret, Michael.
Yeah.
If you get an older machine, all you need to do is replace certain things in the back of the marquee, certain CPUs and different fuses and circuits, because they're 40, 50 years old. They're going to corrode and burn out. And once you clean everything out, then all of a sudden you're just replacing lights and fixing a wire. They usually work. And so the most beautiful pastime. I love them all.
Do you have high scores on all of them?
No, not yet. Unless you want to cheat and take the glass off and hit the...
No, you don't want to do that.
It depends. You really got to learn the machine and the time.
Yeah.
And as I say, I'm a much better player on the older ones than I am on the newer ones, just for some reason. But you definitely read the manuals and you learn them.
That's wild. I just the joy in your face as you're explaining the multi-ball and the ramps and the lights. I mean, it's just palpable, and it's like, oh, I love it when people have a passion for something and they're just so into it. So it's really
my brother. These arcades are going out of business, and down here, I'm willing to drive 5 hours up in the mountains with my boys Tommy, Joey, and Billy with a truck and some cash. and Don Jorge's got his bodega. He'll open it up, and these beautiful vintage antique treasures are in the corner. Boxes on it, bird, cat crap, spider webs, no love.
Yeah.
And so you got to play it cool. But I also see it as rescuing these machines. I collect jukeboxes as well. And so down here, you really find certain treasures. And if you have the room and you have the desire, then find what you like and be proud of that and put a lot of your time into your hobby.
Hell yeah. Outstanding. Did you cook?
No, but I can make a mean sandwich and barbecue.
Okay. I was going to say, like, what's your thing that you cook or you make for yourself or your family to connect?
Well, I try to teach them Philly cheesesteaks. And certain other things that we do up north, maybe like Thanksgiving. I got to teach them stuffing and the turkeys. But it's a lot of our traditions in North America and the United States.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I enjoy buying fresh seafood and cooking that up because it's just incredible what you can buy, the diversity and the price. And so you might as well have a feast if you're able.
Yeah, fresh food. What's the weirdest animal you've run into?
I guess the ones for me are the ugliest spiders that I've ever seen in my entire life. You know what I do at night, which is kind of cool? Sometimes you got to put your pants inside out. So when you put them on in the morning, but I'm checking shoes and boots constantly.
Oh my God. Really?
Well, yeah. How about this? I was told that when I first came here, and there's only been a few times when I've been way up in the mountains, in the rainforest, that things have been in the shoe. Thank God it wasn't a spider. But they give you certain rules to not hurt yourself and to pay attention. And that was rule number 1, is to check your shoes and pants inside out, if you're looking to do things. Yeah. And shake the bed and check it out because it's, this is not 5-star resort time. Creepy crawlies.
Yeah, this is the real deal.
They're all over the place down here.
Oh, my God. Outstanding. What's the one thing that you haven't done yet that you will do before you shuffle off this mortal coil?
I would like to do hang gliding one time.
The stiff one or the paragliding?
Just if I can find a sensation to feel like a bird where I don't need to hear an engine, and with luck, timing, and skill, I can play with the wind and see if I can connect that one time and see if I can fly.
Amazing.
Because we've dreamed about it forever.
Yeah.
It's been a fantasy of everybody. And I think that would be very nice to try.
Amazing. Is there any place down there that you can do that?
I think there's a few. I just haven't. It's interesting. As you say, you have a bucket list.
Yeah.
I should have done it in my 20s because bones can recover quicker. But I also see that when you experience things as an adult, you look at it differently than you might have just as passing as a child. Like, imagine if you go to the Louvre in France when you're 8 years old, you just don't care.
Right.
But if you go in your 40s and 50s, you take like hours upon hours and just let it sink. You're bored when you're young. You'd rather be playing baseball or something. And so I'm trying to capture that, I guess, at the right time.
That's awesome. Let's just say you're walking down this path. It's a beautiful day out. Maybe it's just after that rain. So there's some humidity. Maybe there's like steam coming up off the jungle floor, and you can smell it. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, Richard, I just wish the world knew this one thing. What is the one thing that you wish the world knew?
They need more compassion. I'm not saying that you need to give the shirt off your back or your home to somebody, but it should begin with just acknowledging existence. If you happen to walk past somebody on the street or you're in an elevator, start there.
Yeah.
I don't need to go home and build your life. But I just think if there is a common, very simple connection that connects on points, it's more than enough for us to at least be connected.
Love that. You're clearly spend a lot of time listening and I want to say maybe hearing, not just listening, but hearing people, I would think. Does that feel accurate?
It does. I'm also trying to understand people. I live in a very interesting world, and my head is a very interesting place.
Oh, yeah?
And doesn't necessarily mean I agree with somebody, but I can understand their position.
Got it.
And even my enemies and people that disgust me, I try to understand motives and why. I won't let it live rent-free in my head, and I won't dwell on it. Yeah. But I'm an open-minded individual, and I like to be learned. And so if any sort of experience that I have, at least let it go through the Richard machine and see just what comes out at the end. and see if I can avoid it in the future or find it again if it makes me happy. And so I kind of see things like that. I also see a lot of people in pain, unfortunately. It's very difficult, Michael, and you've asked some really, really good questions. You're the man. I mean, it's you get, but you're getting deep. These are not superficial questions. Yeah. You're trying to see what makes somebody tick. And so a lot of people will put up a front or have a mask because they don't want to be vulnerable or have something you could use against them. But you should pick and choose. I don't mind sharing things with you because you're my friend and your audience who are amazing people, things that they can avoid to make their life more difficult, or if there's a certain way that somebody found peace and balance. Yeah. Let me explain how I found it. Because as you asked the greatest question about CEO of a call center, I'll bet you $100 no one in your audience is or wants to be a CEO of a call center. And most of your audience hates telemarketing. I'm surprised I made the cut and made your show. But it's okay that somebody else can pay it forward in some way that's non-threatening, yeah, and could be somewhat diplomatic. And so the listening also is just not to make certain mistakes, because you can make assumptions of people, or you could do mentalism and start guessing things, and then you could be wrong.
Yeah, right.
And so for somebody that I don't know, allow them to make big piles into smaller piles for me. So then I can find anchors and things that we can have in common and prioritize their interests to see what would make the most sense in the limited time we have together.
Love it. You mentioned some great TV shows from back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Correct.
Yes, as a matter of fact. So, Richard, who's the number one mentor you have?
The late Basil Rathbone, who played Sherlock Holmes in the 30s and 40s, 17 movies, a bunch of old-time radios. And here's the thing. If I tried to imitate Basil Rathbone, you'd be like, Richie, what's wrong with you? His vocabulary is like SAT words.
Yeah.
And also his delivery and stuff is very English. And so, but you're looking at the sharpest of knives and the composure and character during chaos. And it's just so old school. And so I would listen and rewind and look up words. And it was just Basil Rathbone, in my opinion, was in my personal taste for my career as a speaker. I felt was the most influential for me.
Wow. That's a deep cut. I love it. Basil Rathbone. I'm like,
you'll love it when you start watching his shows or old-time radio.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm going back in my head, trying to figure out when the last time I saw something like that. It must have been in the 70s with my folks watching something on. But wow.
Those Humphrey Bogart movies were amazing.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed Steve McQueen movies, there's nothing wrong with dipping into that.
Yeah. So of that, like, what's one of your favorite movies that you go back to on the regular?
You're gonna love my list. I gotta give you number one. It's Humphrey Bogart and the Maltese Falcon.
Okay.
That's period my favorite movie. Steve McQueen and the Thomas Crown Affair with Faye Dunaway. I thought that was excellent. But let's just talk about the real movies. It's got to be Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Spicoli.
Yeah, and Ferris Bueller. I love the movie Hard Bodies with Grant Kramer and Scotty Palmer with the BBD. It's the best stuff. And of course, you got to mention The Breakfast Club. But no, man, those are the movies. Mike Damone telling Rat the 5-point plan. That's legendary stuff. But yeah, Spicoli was incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you're going to rewatch this tonight.
Totally. I'm making a list in my head, and
your 80s marathon. Yeah. Oh, I could recommend a ton of great 80s movies.
Did you ever see Remo Williams?
And The Adventure Begins, of course. Yeah, I love that movie. Hanging off of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that's right, with his finger technique. Yeah, I love it. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going back to the 80s. I'm going to treat myself. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. There's these people in the world, Richard. We call them rebels in waiting. They're these people that are on the verge of something, or maybe they're in the middle of something. But at this point, they're trying to decide how to, I don't know, it's not just getting unstuck, but it's about being a rebel, like sort of pushing it past what is normal or what is the status quo. What advice do you give to people like that?
Can I give you a supreme pizza? I got a lot of toppings on that.
Yeah, give it. Bring it.
The number one thing is they need to remove as much weight as possible.
Okay.
Because they need clarity. And so a lot of people are going to make you feel guilty or be Debbie Downers and negative Nancy's. And so a lot of people love you, but they may not understand you. And so you gotta hold strong on that. That's number one. You also have to plan for the long game. You don't overextend yourself. I built my business through cash only, with no bad partners or loans or mortgages, nothing. That's why it took a little bit longer than normal, but it had more stability and foundation, in my personal opinion. And, you can't be hard on yourself. Because what do you expect? I mean, boxers take hits, but they also win. And as long as you have good intentions and you do things with good faith, then at the end of the day, look in your eyes and respect yourself on something like this. And some of I mentioned pinball and convertibles and being in the rainforest. And I'll tell you why I mentioned this, Michael, because if you can't find ways to decompress, I'm not talking about a beer or smoke or something like that. You need to find time, more than at least 25 minutes, to allow your body and your mind to relax enough so your mind can wander. And then you'll get some of your best ideas. And I crank out ideas in the gym in the morning or on Sunday pinball marathons, washing the car, you name it. Anytime I get a chance to bring it in, focus on me with my breathing and exercise and stuff, good things happen, my man. And a lot of times I'll realize that I did something that could be corrected. So maybe after working out in the gym, you'll get a call from me and I go, Michael, I just got to let you know, I'm so sorry for raising my voice yesterday. I was just in a bad mood. You're like, Richie, it's no problem. And so you'll see things differently. You'll want to make the phone call. You make things right. You become better that way. And so find time for yourself. I'm not impressed if you do 100-hour weeks. It's great and everything, but I'm more impressed on the balance because it shows that you have time management skills and you can prioritize, because that's very important if you're looking to be a rebel and an entrepreneur, because your rebel is the one that stands apart.
Yeah.
How about this, my man? It's a Saturday. We should be goofing around, not Michael and me. We're at the office planning for next week because we've got 15 seats coming in. I want to make sure the computers are set up, the CPU's working. The CRM is up to speed. The headsets are nice and clean, ready to go. Why? Because this is business. This is serious. And we'll have time to play golf and chill and hang out. But you know, when you're guaranteed, that's the best part. That's why I get the business. Because my clients know I not only live here, I'm at the center. I'm always available. There's no surprises.
Right.
And if you get a guy that's dedicated, man, your chances are 10 times better. And so I just do it the old school way. And there's no shortcuts. I'm sorry, but these apps and AI and commercials and 19-year-old millionaires, that's great, but they're one in a million, like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Like, there's only so many kings out there. Be satisfied being a prince. There's some really wealthy princes. And so I don't need to be the number one call center in Costa Rica. I could care less. My pop said one time, if you make 1/10 of 1%, you're a millionaire. You know, how many dinners can you eat, Michael? Seriously. And so, as I say, don't overextend yourself. Just make it so you have a beautiful balance. You have a good life and you plan ahead.
Well, Richard, this has been an absolute blast. I dig your energy and just how you're approaching life. It is really, really cool, and really grateful to know you.
Yeah, likewise. I appreciate the time. You bring the best out of your guests here. But no, I can't thank you enough. I mean, call centers and telemarketing, you got a lot of guts to have me on your podcast.
Man, you are a rebel to the very core. How could I not?
That's right. That's right.
Where can people learn more about you, Richard?
Well, they can buy a ticket when it gets really cold up there in Canada and come fly down and visit. But no, check me out at CostaRicasCallCenter.com. Be more than happy. And anyone writes me and says, hey, Michael recommended that you take a look at my script and my rebuttals. That's my pleasure. I'd love to give some good advice to you and your audience.
Love it. Richard, thanks again. This has been awesome.
Me too, Mark. Thank you again.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Hey, if you're an artist, scientist, entrepreneur, or business owner who wants a smooth and proven method to find, shape, and share your story with the world, head on over to brandjitsu.com and order a copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel Podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out the guest request form. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.